Hi, I'm Jeff. Thank you for watching my video. About a week ago, I put out my second in a series of videos that I'm making where I give you the opportunity to test your comic book grading skills up against actual results from CGC. The second video featured books that I got back from CGC Signature Series special events that CGC has been having all summer long. What we did is we looked at the books when they were raw, assessed them for any kind of flaws, damage, anything that we thought might affect the grade negatively. Then we offered our best guess as to what we thought the grade might be. Then months later, when we got the books back from CGC, we unboxed them and we compared our grades up against the actual results from CGC. If you haven't seen the video that I put out with the books that we're going to be talking about today, I highly recommend clicking this link. Watching it first, it'll offer you a lot more context about the things that we're going to be talking about in this video. Now, in this video, we're going to be working backwards from the grades that we got from CGC. We're going to look at the books and look at the grades and think, okay, I understand why I got this grade from CGC, or the opposite of what was CGC thinking. In this batch of 4 books, we're going to have a little bit from both categories, both where we see books that make sense to us, the grades make sense to us, and others where it doesn't quite make as much sense. First, let's focus on the ones that make a little bit more sense to me. These books are Venom number 3, third print, and XMen 141. And although these grades make sense to me, there are some details about these books and the grades that they got that are worth taking a quick look at. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Now this is some footage that I took of the book when it was raw before being sent to CGC. We're going to compare it up against some photos that I took after it came back. Now you see that divot there above that guy's head? The press took care of that. Very happy about that. Now hold on to your lunch because we're going to fast forward through the rest of this book because you know what? There's not much to say about it, but I wanted you to still see it. It's basically perfect. Same thing with the back of this book, looking really good. Hold on, guys, hang in there with me. We're going to stop this fast forwarding just as we turn this corner and slow down so that we can take a look at this right here. Now, what we have right here is a printing error. I didn't see it, then I saw it, then I didn't see it, then I saw it, but it's definitely there. I wanted to highlight it to show you that you can have a printing error like this and still get a 9.8. I think that's worth knowing. The rest of this book is perfectly good, so we're going to fast forward through the end of it and move on to the next one, which is XMen 141. We're going to stop here at the corner and we're going to look at that. Yeah, that's a tough corner. The press did not help that out at all. I actually think that corner is the reason it got a 9.6 and not a 9.8, because this other corner is actually in pretty good shape. I've heard recently that you can have 2 blended corners and still get a 9.8. Basically, one blended corner is a negative 0.1, a second blended corner is a negative 0.1, 2 blended corners goes to a 9.8. Now, I want to point out here on the back, there's a little bit of this black speckling. It looks like the clean took care of that pretty good. We're going to talk more about black speckling and what a cleaning can do for it in a later book. So, in my original video, I had a little bit of a revelation when it came to the grades that I got on these 2 books. I think it might have gone a little something like this. I got 2 of my grades exactly correct, as I had expected. It's interesting to me that this 134 came back a 9.4, considering these came back 9.6s. Yeah. These books might fall into the what was CGC thinking category. Let's take a closer look at these 2 books. So we're going to be looking at these books a lot more slowly and a lot more carefully because these are the ones that have much more to talk about. Now remember, you are seeing the footage that I did when these books were raw before sent to CGC. And you see the divots right there? Well, the press from CGC helped that out a lot. They are gone forever. We continue down to the corner here, and yeah, there's a little bit of a something there. Did the press help that? Sure does look like it to me. It looks a lot better than it did before. Maybe not a lot, but definitely better. Oh man, part of what breaks my heart about this book is here in its raw form. it looks so good. The rest of this spine looks so clean and so nice. You know, when I was giving it its original grade, I was basing it off of how it looked raw and with imperfections that it had when it was raw. And certain things that the press and the clean did helped it out so much. For example, there's some chipping along the edge of the cover there, right there. Man, post-press, you can't even see it anymore. It looks like it went away, like it was never there. You get down into this bottom corner that originally didn't look good. Thank you very much, press. That is a sharp corner right there. You know, I have some mixed feelings about using CCS for pressing and cleaning after my experience with my first shipment from CGC, but I have not changed my opinion on pressing and cleaning in general. To me, it's a must. There are so many things that helped it out. But one thing it didn't help out was this fingerprint. This fingerprint is the reason we got a 9.4. You can barely even see it. That's it post-cleaning. You can barely see it. The only grader's note that I got on all 4 books was this one note on this one book, light fingerprints on cover. I don't even know why it says fingerprints. This is the only one that I'm able to see, and this is why it got a 9.4. I contacted CGC and I said, shouldn't I expect a cleaning to get rid of fingerprints? And the answer was no. Once it's in the ink like that, it's there forever. The fact that a fingerprint can get in the ink blew my mind, but apparently it's a fact. So something to keep in mind. If your book has a fingerprint on it, it is likely that it is going to lower your grade and that a cleaning will not be able to help it out. Now this corner was a little bit blunted originally. You'll see the press helped that out a lot too. So it takes me all back to that fingerprint, and that fingerprint being the one reason this book got a 9.4. Breaks my heart that some person's oily, grubby little finger was the reason why this book didn't get a 9.6, and dare I say, had potential to get a 9.8. Something you should all definitely keep in mind. And now our final book of the day, XMen 142. This is the most interesting book of the bunch. Now you scan along the top here and you see, oh yeah, that looks like a little flaw right there. Once again, reminder, we're seeing it in its raw form before the press and before the clean. Now I'm going to scan all the way across and show you this spine so you can see all the little imperfections that are in there. I'm sure you can see them. We're going to go through and we're going to look through it section by section after the pressing and the cleaning when it's in its holder in photos. Here's photo 1. We're going to look a little closer. That looks like a color breaking spine tick. I'm going to go to the next section. Oh boy, 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 little things in there. There's a bunch of little color breaking spine ticks in there. We're looking here. Oh, look over there by Nightcrawler. Yep. That is a color breaking spine tick. And then let's look at the top section right here. Ooh, that corner is really looking bad. And all that cracking and stuff that's coming through. That spine is probably the worst of all the books. I remind you, this book got a 9.6, and it also still has black smudging on the front like that black speckling. Now, something I've learned is that apparently the black speckling like that, whatever the cleaning can do, can actually only help white sections. If they tried to clean the black speckling off of that green, it would rub away the ink. That would be a very bad thing. But we're going to talk more about that when we get to the other side of the book. The other side of the book had a decent amount of that black speckling on it, and we're going to take a look at that, comparing the original book to what it looked like after it was cleaned. This section's pretty good. Remember, this book got a 9.6 with the spine and with the black speckling that you're still going to see in the after photos after being pressed and cleaned. You see, it helped it, but it's still there a little bit, you know? And that's going to be the theme that we're going to have as we're going around the book here. Yeah, you see it there when it was raw? Boom. It's helped there on the right, but it's, you know, it's not gone. We're going to go here to the corner, look at it again. Yeah, that's some speckling. I still see it there. You can clearly still see some of it's there in the after photos. Remember all these little color-breaking spine ticks? They're still there as well as that black speckling, improved but not gone. And this book is a 9.6. Even with that spine, even with those ticks on the back, even with the additional black speckling that this book has on the back that the other ones didn't have, this book still gets a 9.6. Very interesting. So while I give you my final thoughts, I want to go ahead and run some video that I took right down here of the books in their holders. I think this video might more clearly demonstrate the value of the pressing and the cleaning that I had done as opposed to the photos that I showed earlier. Now, I'm sure a lot of you are watching this video and you're thinking to yourself, dude, what are you complaining about? Okay? XMen 134 got a 9.4. It's a 9.4. That's clear. And XMen 142, well, maybe it is a 9.2 or a 9.4, and you got a 9.6. You should be happy about that. Trust me, I am. I'm extremely happy about that. Now, as far as XMen 134 is concerned, I'm a little bit disappointed about that fingerprint. But I learned two very valuable things. One, that a cleaning is not necessarily going to remove a fingerprint. And that's good to know. And second, that a fingerprint like that will hurt your grade. I mean, it was the one thing mentioned. It was the only grader note that I got on all 4 books was a fingerprint. So it's absolutely going to impact the grade negatively. In addition, XMen 142 getting that 9.6, I am so stoked about. The fact that XMen 141 and 142 have matching 9.6s is amazing to me. I am overjoyed about that. I even thought to myself at one point, if I could, would I want CGC to flip those grades? Because I actually think that that would probably be more fair, at least in my estimation. And the answer is no. I want those Days of Future Past parts to have matching grades. And even as far as the value is concerned of those books, it's like a $20 difference, okay? Which is not that significant, okay? So I'd rather have the grades be exactly where they are. But once again, I'm talking about all these things because I'm trying to get into the head of CGC and I'm trying to help you do the same so that we can all be better, more accurate graders when we're looking at our books raw before we send them into CGC so that we protect ourselves from disappointment and financial loss. As always, I thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I hope it was informative and helpful for you. If you liked it, you know, likes are always appreciated, definitely. And if you want to see more content like this, please hit the subscribe. I appreciate that as well. I'm going to be making more videos where I'm going to do a follow-up video about my customer service experience regarding the first video. I'm going to be probably doing a 9.8 pre-screen. I have other books that are coming back from CGC. So I'm going to be making more of these. So if you're interested in that, subscribe and make sure that you get the opportunity to watch them. Once again, thank you so much. Appreciate everything. If you have anything you want to say, any questions you want to ask, any feedback you want to give me, put it down in the comments. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.